Scrolling on LinkedIn is literally depressing in 2024. It's insane. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatyana Edgeworth, and we're back with another freaking video. But before we go ahead and get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to your girl's channel. And everything we talk about will be linked down below. All of my social media will be linked down below as well. And we're just gonna go ahead and get straight into it. Okay, so if you guys can't tell by the title of this video, we're gonna talk about like how to stay motivated while being unemployed. I know it's like literally one of the hardest things to do. Your girl has been unemployed like so many times through these past 3 years of me being in Houston. I just want to talk about my experience and like how can I help you guys basically keep going, keep the motivation going while being unemployed. Baby, we're gonna still try to keep it positive around here. So we're gonna start with the first thing. The first thing I need you guys to realize is that these job postings, a lot of them are fake. Literally understand that as a previous recruiter, like people are literally posting jobs just to have them on there. I've been in situations to where like I was on teams, and even though they already had like an internal candidate, they knew that they wanted to pick this person, they went ahead and posted externally anyways, like for legal reasons or whatever situation may be, to make it seem like it's still fair, but they already have a internal personal person, or they already have somebody that they want to choose to basically be in that position. So they have to post it legally anyways to kind of still like see what their options is, but they're literally wasting people's time because honestly, they already know who they want for the spot in the first place. So when you are applying for these jobs, like just keep that in mind. I know it could be draining, like honestly, keep applying over and over and over again. Like I understand the exhaustedness. Like I'm currently still looking for work as well, and it's hard. There are people who are unemployed who are looking for work, but just imagine people that are still working or at toxic jobs or at toxic work environments where they feel like they are stuck and they can't go anywhere. Like those people are looking for work as well too. So we have people who are unemployed and we have people who are employed who are still looking for work, and then there's like literally a lot of jobs out there. They're not redoing your unemployment because they say, at least like in our state and a lot of other states, they're basically trying to say like, okay, well, there's not enough unemployed people, there's still enough work, but the problem is that the work isn't paying enough, or it's like really bad work environments, and we're trying to like find other situations to be in. It's like right now, it's like this market that we're currently in, it's getting worse and worse and worse, and just understand that it's not your fault. Like it's literally not your fault. It's literally these job postings. People are paying you less, people are not telling you what you're worth, or actually like you aren't being paid for what you're worth right now. And I know it sucks, but it's all temporary. Okay, it's literally all temporary. So the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is to capitalize on your positive days. So what I mean by that is we all have like our positive moments. We're not going to be positive all the time. So when you are positive, you need to apply to jobs aggressively. I mean very aggressively, because you are currently hyperactive right now. You are super positive, super outgoing. Like you just want to make sure that when you are feeling that way, when you're like, okay, there's a job out there for me, I can't be negative, like you need to apply aggressively, because honestly, we're gonna get off of that horse. Like eventually it's gonna go back to like down here. So while we're up here, like we're gonna apply to jobs, we're gonna stay positive, we're gonna be doubling up, so that way when we are on our lows and when we're feeling more depressed and more down and just eating ice cream, we still apply for jobs, but it's not gonna be as much, and that's fine. But just understand that, okay, cool, well I already applied to like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 jobs when I was on my high. So right now while I'm depressed and feeling down, like hopefully companies will be calling you by now. And if they're not calling you, in my personal opinion, you might have to relook at your resume, because there's a lot of resumes that I personally seen that are not good, and it's probably why you're not getting calls. So if you actually want me to review your resume on the free, just for me to just look at it, I can go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and comment down below. I could just do that free work for you real fast. One thing I want to talk about that I personally do is cry and apply. So we cry and apply. Like I'm the type of person where I'm feeling really down and really depressed, I'm like literally boo-hooing, crying, and like applying for jobs. I'm literally like crying on my freaking phone, like oh my god, like why has it been so long? And I'm like, when I'm crying and complaining, every time I catch myself complaining, I am literally applying for jobs. I'm on Indeed, I am on ZipRecruiter, I am on LinkedIn, I'm on all the platforms, and I'm literally applying for jobs. And usually when that happens, like like I use my depression personally to an advantage. Like when I get really depressed and really down, that's when I work the hardest, because I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. Like I cannot keep being down for so long. So I know for me personally, I actually like to take advantage of when I'm more depressed, like when I'm more down. Sometimes it depends though, because it depends on my depression. Like if it's more of like, okay, I don't realize the depression, like my body, like, which means like for me, if I am laying it down, like relaxing, like just being like less productive, that means that my depression is coming, and I need to understand that like myself so I can catch it early. So I'm like, okay, cool, what do I have to do for me to be more productive and more positive? And just understand like there is work out there for you. You just have to be patient. I know it, like coming from the person with the worst patience ever, I get it. Like trust and believe me, like being unemployed, it sucks. Like I've cried so many times throughout these 3 years of just being unemployed, being fired, being let go, being laid off, like name it. I've been through it within less than 3 years of me just moving to Houston, Texas, and it has definitely been a terrible roller coaster for me. But right now I'm feeling okay about it, and I'm just hoping that I will have like future blessings in the future, and I hope you guys feel the same way too. Like I need you guys to understand, like think of it, things happen for a reason. There is something better out there for you. And what I need you guys to understand, even if you take a job that is less paying or that's more toxic, just understand this is the journey that we're going through so we can get to something better. This is always something temporary. Like never think of jobs, any job, like never think, even your dream job, it should never be a permanent job for the rest of your life. Like you need to think of jobs as in, okay, cool, I'm gonna work here for this amount of time and then I'm going to elevate. Now obviously if you have a great company and they're treating you like amazing, like I know someone where they get constant raises, constant promotions, just constant like what's the word, regulation, I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but just constant just reward when it comes to working for that company. I would highly recommend working for a company like that. I personally wouldn't leave a company like that if they're treating me well as well. But if you have a company to where they're like, oh, we're gonna give you a 3% raise or a 30-cent raise, like come on now, we're gonna go ahead and give ourselves a raise and up it $10,000. How about that? So the next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is that you are worth it. Like understand that you are literally worth it. I feel like this is the best way I can put it. I feel that you kind of start thinking about it like a breakup, where I mean you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just how I felt, and I feel like a lot of people felt the same way. Like you start doubting yourself. Like, am I good enough? Am I qualified enough? Like, is my education enough? Like you start to really self-doubt. It reminds me of like being in a relationship to where like, okay, cool, things are not working out and you guys go through this terrible breakup, and then eventually at first you're like, okay, well F them, whatever, I'm doing me, they lost out, whatever. That's how you feel at first, right? Until after so long you're like, wait a minute, is it me? Am I the problem? Am I the drama? And it just like, that's what I started doing after a while. Like dang, like I've been unemployed for 6 months. I'm like, dang, like I made the most money ever, and now I'm making, or you know, applying for jobs that are way less, like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 less than what I'm used to making, and I'm still not getting anything. And you start to question yourself like, dang, like am I ever going to be able to make that type of money again? Am I ever going to be able to just live that certain lifestyle again? Like am I ever going to be able to just be happy like I was in that position again? And I'm going to answer it for you and say, yeah, it may not be right now, but it's the same thing with a relationship. Like we think that we are the lowest of the low and feel like, okay, is that the best that we deserve? But honestly, we need to understand our worth and understand that it's the market and not us. It's not because we were terrible employees that the reason why we cannot get a job. It's not because we are not good at interviewing is the reason why we can't get a job. Like it's not because our resumes are not being seen. Like that is literally not what it is. It is because we're putting in the effort. I'm literally seeing videos all over social media talking about like, oh my god, like I applied for 800 jobs, 150 jobs, like I applied for 1,000 jobs, like whatever number it is. I hear it all the time on social media. Like I applied to so many jobs and it's been a year, 6 months, 4 months, like, and I still haven't found anything. And honestly, guys, it's depressing. Like scrolling on LinkedIn is literally depressing in 2024. It's insane. I know for me personally, I don't scroll anymore. I go in there and I look for jobs, I look for connections, and that's it. I'm getting off of that app because it's nothing but depression. People are complaining about how they're unemployed, how they're homeless, how they lost their house, and it's just like, guys, like the best you can do is just be positive. And the reason why I say be positive is because you could be negative, but where's that gonna get you? Literally, being negative literally gets you nowhere. You can be negative all you want, but you're just just going to be negative. You're still going to be negative and unemployed. So who wants to do that? We might as well just be positive and unemployed. Take advantage of this time. Let me tell you, when it comes to investing or making money or thinking of your future, it's either time or money. So right now you have the time, so take advantage of this time. What do you want to do? What you could spend this time to educate yourself. You're spending this time to go ahead and get your certification, to do freelancing work, to maybe get into a trade, to try to do your side business, to get a business, to do content creation, to do influencing, whatever it is that you want to do. This is a time for you to do it. Like, even if it's just, think of it in a smaller way. Like, okay, now I have the time to actually do my spring cleaning. I have the time to actually organize my kids' clothes and get everything together. I have time to actually spend more time with my children. So while you have the time, take advantage of it, because we're not going to always have this time again. Like, I have the most time right now. So what am I doing? I'm being consistent on social media. I'm making sure that I'm fixing my resume. I'm making sure that I'm going to be applying for jobs. I'm making sure that I'm going to be getting a certification. Like, I've been for my last being unemployed, let me tell you guys, like, from my personal experience, I've been unemployed and I decided to be like depressed. And I was depressed. I was on the couch all the time and I could not be consistent on social media. I had viral videos, but like I fell off so many times because I just felt so sad and so down, because my whole identity was like me having money. Like, I was one of those family members who kind of made it a little bit, you know, like, so it was sad. Like, I spent a lot of my life saving up some money and it would be gone within a few months, and that was the reality for it. And I couldn't just, I let it go. I did let it get to me. I'm not gonna lie. I let it get to me. I was going through a whole bunch of things with like family and relationships and things in that way. And on top of that, I was dealing with me being unemployed. It was a very sucky situation. And then I got out of it, right? And then I got back into it again. And I want to say the difference this time is I've been a lot more positive. I've been a lot more productive, because I realized last time that I wasted a lot. Like, I could have came out, I was unemployed for 6 months. That means for 6 months, I could have came out with a whole certification and been able to apply to other jobs and other opportunities that could make me more money. And I could have also been more consistent on social media to where I could have more people who are following me, people who are being influenced by me, people who are liking my content. But I did not choose that. I chose to be depressed. I chose to let life get to me. So that being said, this time I'm choosing to be consistent. I'm choosing to let me feel how I feel. Like, your feelings are definitely valid. Like, what you are feeling, like the depression of feeling like, oh, am I worth it? Am I good enough? The answer is just always gonna be yes. Like, feel what you feel. Give yourself maybe like a day or two to feel what you feel. But after that, baby, you gotta hop back on it, because you don't have a choice. Let me tell you something. And I guess I may be going off a tangent, but let me tell you something. When it comes to you having a job, you dedicate so much time and efforts to that job when you could be doing the same efforts towards yourself. So while you have the time, that's what you should be doing. So all of that 8-hour window that you actually use to work, you can use that 8-hour window for you to get a certification. You can use that 8-hour window for you to sit there and apply for jobs aggressively. I feel like a lot of people think that they apply for jobs enough and they don't. I know people personally who said that they want work or they want to apply for jobs, and they maybe apply for like maybe 5 jobs a week, and they're probably like smaller jobs. So what I mean by smaller jobs, like easy, like one-click apply jobs. They're not even like full website jobs. So like, how do you expect to get interviews if you're not being aggressive? So that being said, like when I was getting fired from my previous job, I literally had, I want to say anywhere between 5 to 10 calls between the last week or two and me being fired. So I had interviews lined up because I eventually, when I was so fed up, I was like, I have to make the time to apply. So even though my job environment was so toxic and I had 0 time, every time I went to the bathroom, boom, I applied for jobs. Every time that I was on lunch, I was applying for jobs. Like, I didn't have in between time, but if I found a little 5-minute gap, I was applying to jobs, because I feel like if you really want to, have to apply yourself, and we cannot let our emotions get to it. We really have to just be logical. Like, look, at the end of the day, we are in competition with people who are highly qualified. We have to put in more work. We have to put ourselves out there more. We can't be as picky. So that brings me to my next thing. This is last but not least. I'm sorry for that long rant, but last but not least, I want to go ahead and talk about being okay with making less money. Okay, I know. You guys, it is a journey. Now, what I can say is, overall, when you start making making more money, like in a different tax bracket, you usually start to stay in that tax bracket. But if you have been unemployed, I'm so sorry guys, give me a second, I got a text. Understand when you are in a certain tax bracket that you're gonna usually continue making that same amount. But if you've been unemployed for a while, like I gave myself personally maybe like 2-3 months because I had a backup plan. After that, I was like, okay, cool. When I was working fully remote, making a decent amount of money, I was like, oh, okay, when I'm applying for jobs, I'm gonna apply for only remote jobs only. But then eventually after 2-3 months, I'm like, okay, well that ain't working. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to start applying for hybrid situations. Okay, cool. So I switched it up. Then after a while of not getting anything hybrid, I was like, okay, well babes, we getting real desperate around here. So now I have to start applying for jobs that are completely in office and get off my high horse, because for a very long time I was not applying to any jobs that were in person. And I literally remember letting go of an opportunity because it was such a far drive, like a 45-minute drive for like the same pay, when I was like, I literally get paid more to work from home. It was like, babe, you don't have a job. And at the time I didn't understand the value of just going ahead and taking that position. I honestly should have, because literally 6 months later, here I am getting paid $12,000 less than what I was getting paid before to work an average 10 to 12 hours a day, for me to be in a toxic work environment, for me to literally just, everything was just bad about the situation. But I needed money. I needed to go ahead and get off of that. And I literally was commuting an hour every day, there, an hour back. Literally waking up at 5 a.m. for me to get there at 6. Like not getting home till 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 at night. Like it was real bad, but I had to tell myself, look, I gotta do what I gotta do to make ends meet and to make things work. I can't buy a house right now. If anybody who knows me knows, I've been literally trying to buy a home since before even moving to Houston. My whole point of me moving to Houston was for me to be a homeowner. And babe, does it look like I'm a homeowner? No. Okay, and I am not happy about it. I literally tell myself all the time, like, I just get so sad and depressed, like, that people have stuff that I don't, you know. But I just have to realize, like, this is my journey and I have to stay positive, and I have to just think, like, you know what, there's a reason why things happen, and hopefully one day I get to achieve what I wanted to be doing this whole entire time. And it's a good outlook, because who knows, like, if I would have bought a house and been in a worse situation, because now I got a whole mortgage with 7% interest rate and I didn't have a job. So I have to look at it in a different perspective. So if you guys ever need help with like thinking positive, let me know. I can kind of like just comment down below like something that you, maybe if you want to be open about it, to like what you're going through, and I can like literally help you look at it in a positive way. Like literally I just had to spend $7,000 on my dog yesterday because he just got into a really bad surgery. Like he needed like a really bad surgery, really serious surgery. It was very scary, and I had to come out the pocket, and I was thinking him or my savings. And let me just be honest, but I was like, I can't be like that. So obviously I chose my baby. He is still here, he is well, but that's, I mean, it's just part of life, you know. Like, but imagine if at least I have a part-time job right now, you know, at least I have some income coming in. So it's like I just have to learn, or we as people just have to learn how to look at things in a more positive perspective than negative. Like I get it, you've been unemployed, we got homeless, we lost everything, you know what I mean? Like I freaking get it, but just understand, because you touched it, that you can touch it again. And I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that as that. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you guys need any more help with any other advice, any tips, I can go ahead and just come up with some more, you know, I could talk my mouth off. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, my name is Tatyana Edgeworth, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.
True friends, one question. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses. Oh yeah. Bitch, where you and I was walking. Now I run the game, got the